Click the bell icon to get latest videos from Ekeeda.
Hello friends, welcome back to the subject of Machine Design 1. We are right now learning about various springs and their design procedures. In the last session, we have solved a simple numerical based on the design of helical spring. In today's session, we are going to look at the different aspects where trial and error can be used as a tool for designing a spring. So let us begin with it. So students, you can see on the screen there is a problem statement given, and it says design a spring for clutch operation such that, now the wording I have converted into this thing, I'll dictate for you, such that torque transmitted by the clutch will be 300 Newton meter and the RPM given is 1500 RPM. The inner diameter and the outer diameters are specified for the clutch plates, of course. These are not the diameters for the given spring. The coefficient of friction mentioned is 0.35 between the friction lining and the plate. There are 9 helical springs that we are supposed to use to hold this clutch. The spring index mentioned is 5. The number of coils given is 6 for the spring. Of course, these are the active coils. The modulus of rigidity is specified, and they have mentioned the material property that allowable value of shear stress should be 30% of the ultimate stress. That's the given value. There are few more values specified. A table is specified which is not written here. I'll mention it at the appropriate session where we're supposed to use it. Apart from this, they have given one more important consideration, that this clutch plate uses total 2 pairs of clutch plates. So there will be total 4 different plates, 2 friction plates and 2 clutch plates. So in that case, there will be total 2 pairs that we are going to use. So with this data, let us start with the numerical. So students, we have to look at the clutch mechanism. If you see, there are plates arranged in series, right? So 2 pairs or 2 plates, one clutch plate and of course a metallic plate and the friction lining plate, they make up a one pair. So such 2 pairs are given. So total torque that is to be transmitted is 300. So the torque transmitted by each of them will be half of that, that is 150. So torque transmitted by each pair contacting the surface will be given by 150 Newton meter. Let's consider it Newton millimeter term. There's one more thing, we need to consider either of the theories. Now we already have studied this in theory of machines, that there are 2 possible theories of clutch wear. So that is uniform wear theory or uniform pressure theory. Generally uniform wear theory dominates the region, that's why we will use the uniform wear theory. And according to the uniform wear theory and this particular logic, let's find out the normal force exerted. So normal force exerted will be equal to this particular equation. Is very simple, that is based on the torque and the diameter available for the plates. So that is 4 times the torque delivered by one plate, that is 150, divided by coefficient of friction specified is 0.35 and the given diameters. We can say d outer and d inner also, but it remains the same thing. It can be d outer plus d inner. So with that logic, let's substitute the values. So after solving this expression, we get the value somewhere around Newton. So this is what the normal force that will be exerted as a whole by this particular plates or the pair of plate, so that the required torque will be transmitted. Or in other words, in order to transmit the required torque, this much should be the force exerted by the given plates. Now we have been given total 9 number of springs. The total number of springs mentioned here is 9. So the force exerted by every plate or every spring will be given by the total force exerted divided by 9. So we'll say T1 divided by 9. which is equal to the value that is given, and therefore P value comes out to be somewhere around 432.9 Newton. Now with that, let us move ahead with the Walls factor calculation. We know that Walls factor plays a major role in the calculation. We have been given the spring index equal to 5. So after substitution, the Walls factor comes out to be, it's a unitless term that we all know. Let's move ahead. Now there comes a different thing where we have to find out a relationship between the torque and the diameter expected. The students, we have not been given any of the values of the material specified, and that's why we can't go for the direct substitution of tau value. Instead, they have already given the possible trials for the diameter and the material. For example, for the given material, they have not specified the value. Let me recollect it. That's why they have given us the table. So according to that table, if the diameter specified is 3 millimeter, the material of this particular strength can be used. Same thing holds. See, if you see this properly, the value of dimension or diameter is going on increasing. In that case, the strength of material is decreasing. That means they are giving us the possibilities or the combinations where with the increase of the dimension, the strength is decreasing. So we have to use them on trial and error basis. And before we use them, let us find out the relationship between them. So let us move ahead. We already know this relation very well. Let's substitute the values. Now here tau is also unknown. The Walls factor that we have found out recently is this. The force exerted by every spring is given by the spring index they have specified is 5. So diameter is also an unknown. And therefore, after solving this, we'll get an expression where we will get a relationship between the tau value and the diameter. After solving it, we get it somewhere equal to this. Of course, the value will be in Newton per millimeter square. So this is what the important relation that is derived. Let me highlight it. So hereafter we are going to use this relation for all this trial and error method. What our purpose is, we are going to find out the induced value of shear stress when the specified value of this particular thing is induced. So that we will compare this particular value along with the safe value. Now safe value, we know that we'll put it in the bracket. Safe value for this given problem is 30% the ultimate, so it becomes 0.3 times the ultimate value. So for every combination we will find out this value, we will compare the allowable value with the induced value, and if it is going to be safe, the design is going to be safe in trial and error method. So let us begin with it. So let us start with the trial one, where let us take the first diameter, which is 3 millimeter as per the given table, where the value of ultimate stress was 1570 Newton per millimeter square. Now let us use the relation where we will get the allowable tau 0.3 times sigma u. If I substitute this value of sigma u, I get the value of tau equal to Newton per millimeter square. Now this is what the allowable value. Let us say that the actual value of tau should not exceed this. Let's see if it is exceeding. We know that tau right now is given by this relation. As of now the diameter is 3, and therefore tau value comes out to be somewhere around 803.6 Newton per millimeter square. Now we can see this very clearly that the induced value is greater than the allowable value, and hence design is not safe. Now since the design is not safe, we ultimately have to go for the second trial. So in second trial, let us go for the next possible value where the diameter will be increased from 3 to 3.5 millimeter, while this value is reduced to Newton per millimeter square. Let us find out the safe value now, which again is 0.3 times the ultimate value. After solving this, we'll get the answer Newton per millimeter square. Using this relation again, let's try to find out the induced value. And therefore, after solving this, we'll get the induced value is equal to somewhere around 557.4 Newton per millimeter square. Now, as we compare this induced value with the allowable value, it is again clear that the induced value is greater than the allowable value, and therefore this design is not safe again. Students, we are right now solving this numerical where we are trying to find out whether the selected dimension or the selected diameter of the wire is safe or not, based on which rest of the dimensions do depend. So in first two trials, it is found that they are not safe. Let us go for the next two trials in the next video, in the next lecture, so as to prove that the given dimension is safe or not. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you like this video, please subscribe to Ekeeda. Thank you.